Hi, I'm Barb Grenado, and this is Hannah. A while back, Anastasia asked me to comment on the puppy training class and how it affected me or changed me. And I said, let me think about that. I couldn't quite find the words to articulate it. I know I had been changed. I have become more passionate about the ministry and more compassionate. And I said, but let me think about it. Well, the very next day I attended Tim Hetzner's Bible study class, and he spoke on John 15, the vine and the branches. And as I listened to him, I thought, that's us. That's the dog ministry. Jesus is the vine, the trainers, the handlers, the caregivers, the dedicated, gifted people at LCC, and of course our furry friends. We're all the branches. And then when we go out and reach to people in need, we produce fruit on behalf of God and Jesus. We become the eyes and ears and hands and feet of Jesus Christ when we reach out to others in need. And God uses us in ways to perhaps bring joy to people who are grieving, or to help mend a broken heart, or perhaps soften a hardened heart, or he may even use us to help him open a heart to the possibilities of Jesus Christ in someone's heart. And so that is the fruit that we produce. The puppy training class is a perfect example of how God uses us to bear fruit on his behalf. And I saw these trainers, what a dedicated group of people. They are so committed to the ministry. Some of them traveled long distances. Dan came from Portage, Indiana. There were several from the southern suburbs of Chicago, the far western suburbs, and every Thursday they would come up to Northbrook and spend 3 hours in a puppy training class. And there were 2 trainers per dog, and each would have the puppy for a week, and then they would alternate, and the puppy would go to the other person for a week. And it was just really interesting to watch how both dog and trainer bonded with each other. And I couldn't help but think how Jesus so appreciates their sacrifice and their love to serve their Lord in such a generous, beautiful way. And around 6-7 months of age, the puppies then are switched over to a new set of trainers. And what happens is that the 2 trainers take their dog and give it to another group of trainers within the group, and then they will receive a puppy to take home and start training again. And I thought, oh man, how can they do that? And it would break my heart. But then I thought how God is pruning them. God is the great gardener here. He's the one who does all the pruning. And so these trainers now take the skills that they have learned, and they bring on another puppy who has its own quirks and personality and strengths and weaknesses. They have to take on what they have learned and apply it to this new dog. And then the dog also has to adapt to these new trainers and be flexible and adaptive in this change. And I thought, that's exactly what's going to happen when he's going to be placed into a church. There's going to be 6 or 8 handlers handling this dog, and part of this is just the great plan that God has in pruning the trainers and the dogs. I just can't help but think how Jesus appreciates their sacrifice and their love to serve their Lord in such a loving, generous way. So as the puppy progresses to the next level, so do we. And I keep thinking about that vine, that Jesus is the vine, and the handlers and the trainers and the caregivers and all the staff at LCC and the dogs, we all are the branches, and God keeps pruning us and makes us fuller and better so that we may produce richer fruit on his behalf. And it makes me smile, and it's such an honor and a privilege to serve him in this capacity. And I think Jesus adores us when we allow him to open our hearts and to use us in so many ways, some of which are pretty unconventional. Tim has often said, who would have ever thought he would ever use dogs? And so the ministry isn't for everybody, but for those of us who are willing to take the leap and trust the Lord to use us in any way that He wants to. Well, there are no boundaries as to what He can do in our lives, and the fruit that He will help us produce. And so this conference is another way God will prune us. We're all going to learn a lot. We're all going to meet new people. And we'll take home with us new experiences, more knowledge, and our dogs will be better for it. And our ministry will grow. And I really encourage you that throughout the day, throughout the next couple days, talk to people. Introduce yourself to people you don't know, and tell them your stories. And I have no question that God will use us, will use you in ways unknown to you now, and maybe even unknown when you go out to events, but God is definitely using you, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Enjoy the conference. Thank you.